Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video on SEI. Had to make a video on that. I covered this earlier last week, of course. This was one of the strongest bouncers after Tuesday and Wednesday when we had a lot of bearish pressure. And this also, I said a couple of times that if we were to pull back, my video was right here on Thursday or Friday, I think. That if we were to pull back, that SEI would most likely be the best coin to buy. And we barely pulled back. We had one pullback right here, as you can see, and there SUI also jumped up amazingly well, and we rallied basically into yesterday afternoon, which is one of the biggest anomalies I've seen in the entire market in the last month, because the entire market yesterday started to fall, right? And that's still to a certain extent going on right now. Bitcoin is fighting after the escalation we had overnight, because obviously we have to speak about the fundamentals a little bit. Bitcoin is fighting to get back into value. Get back into that balance, which also matters for SEI a little bit, but matters more for the entire crypto market. SEI at this point of time, honestly, it's quite uncorrelated from the markets, right? Over the last 3 days, the correlation is about 47.5%, which I can tell you that's one of the lowest correlations to Bitcoin across the entire, high market cap altcoin market right now. So SEI is doing its own thing, and at this point of time, that own thing is quite bearish, and that was also to be expected, right? I also said in my last video, I believe, I'm not sure if I said that, but I have said that in my premium group, and I have said that in on X, that if you have a move that leaves this many imbalances to the downside, with no clear fundamental reason why we're rallying. I do need to tell you that SEI has been doing quite well on the network activity front. Right, you can see the TVL is actually up a lot over the last or year to date, and also over the last couple of months still. So there definitely was a reason for SEI to rally, and I'd say it was a little bit undervalued, at least compared to relative prices and prices before for SEI. So that is definitely true. However, that doesn't necessarily warrant a rally like this, right? So we had a big rally, but you can now see, especially also with the price action and with the news overnight, that SEI opened below the value we created yesterday. Yesterday, you can see we created value here at the top. We opened below that, and then we weren't able to get back into that into that value, and now we are also dropping down below the range of the price yesterday. So basically all the prices that yesterday were hit, and it seems to me that we're dropping down below that with quite a lot of volume, right? And if we do that, then all of a sudden we can start to talk about all the imbalances we have to the downside, right? We have we had a naked POC right here, which we filled. We have a naked POC right here. We have a single print. We have a naked POC, basically all the way down to 17 cents again, where, by the way, we also have a massive fair value gap. So that also seems most likely to me, right? It seems most likely to me that there's a strong support level coming up right here at 19 and 18.5 cents. So it depends a little bit on the fundamentals. Like, I do expect a bounce very, very soon right here. And if the fundamentals then become good, so if we see a de-escalation for the fundamentals, then that could be the bottom, and we could just consolidate up here for SEI. But under the current fundamentals and under the current assumptions that I have about the fundamentals, I would say, I actually do still expect somewhat of a bounce right here from 19 cents. We have a lot of imbalances to the downside to fill, and those work as kind of magnets. But we also are starting to create some imbalances to the upside. So I would say a bounce there, but ultimately I do think that after that, we'll start to drop down into that level between 17.5 and 17 cents, which I do think will hold as a bottom. But those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know regarding SEI for now. Hopefully that helps, but have a great Sunday. I'll see you all in my next videos, and bye.